What we do here is go back.
Hey everybody, welcome to Bellman Woodworking and Designs with me, Brent Bellman. And today we're going to take this piece of walnut and turn it into an iPhone, Apple Watch, an iPad docking station. So let's get to it and make it happen. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is make a base that's going to hold the iPhone. And I want something that's going to be the same width across here. And I don't have a lathe. And I am copying the idea from Bob Claggett of I Like to Make Stuff. And I'm going to take his design for a round base. So for me, without a lathe to make a piece of wood round, I'm going to use this duct tape, and I think that's going to be about the right size for a base for this iPhone. So we're going to use this, trace it out with some walnut, and that'll get us started. Alright, at this point I've got my spot traced here for the iPhone dock, and I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to actually cut two of these and glue them together, and that's going to be what is the base for the iPhone and also what the Apple Watch will wrap around. So let's go ahead and make this cut. We're going to take some glue and glue this up now. I'm going to be pretty generous, and I'm going to grab some clamps and we'll glue it together, and we'll let that start sitting up. Again, it always works better if you don't have the dried excess glue in your bottle here. And I'm going to put glue on both pieces here. Alright, so now we'll grab some clamps and clamp it up. Alright, so our next step is to take another chunk of this walnut, and we're going to cut a piece for the base that's going to hold the iPad. So, based on my measurements, it looks like we're going to cut that piece about 8 inches long and about 3 inches wide. So that'll be the base that holds our iPad in place on the actual docking station. So I've got this board right here. This is for the iPad. So you hold that, and it is 2 5/8 inches wide across here. And I've done that to allow for an inch on either side of the iPad when we cut a groove. So with that, I've got this anchor jig right here that I bought a few years ago, and I've set it to 1 inch. So what I'm gonna do is set it up on here on both sides, and I'll make a line all the way down at 1 inch on this side, all the way down to 1 inch on this side. And so the remainder of what should be left, the gap in the middle, should be that 5/8. So I'll do that right now. Let's add our line on here. Alright, and now we've got our line drawn all the way across there. So now if we check this with our ruler, we do have this at 5/8 inches thick right there on the So what I've done here is I took my anchor jig and I got it set to the depth, and I'm going to cut this groove for the iPad, which is a little over 1/2 inch. And I've got it here set with the blade, and I've got it, when I rose my blade up here, I put it just under that so it wasn't nicking, because I really didn't want to cut it any further than I had to. So I've got it just right there. You can tell the blade comes right up to the edge of that and maybe just barely touches it if I press on it a little too much there. So that's going to be the set depth for the blade that's going to cut the groove. And I'm not going to use a dado blade just because I feel like that's a little too much effort just for this one groove. So I'll just make multiple passes, because every time I make a pass with the blade, it's going to be 1/8 of an inch thick. So I'll just make 5 passes. That should be able to make all the cuts that I need, and I'll do some clean out if I need to after that. So let's make the groove cut for that iPad. Alright, so somehow I'm pretty sure I missed that entire shot. But what I did was I did cut that groove, so now this is the groove for the iPad right here. So I actually cut this board a little bit longer earlier, 9 inches, but I want it to 8. So I'm going to shave off the side here, cut it a little bit on the edge, and then we need to find out exactly where our hole is going to go for the charger. So that'll be the next step. Alright, so here we are at the drill press, and I've got the smallest Forstner bit that I've got. And you don't have to use a Forstner bit, you can use any kind of drill bit if you wanted to, but I think this is going to help me get the kind of hole that I want on here. So make sure when you're using a drill press, always put a piece of wood underneath what you're going to cut. So I've got my area marked out here where I want the charger to go, and so I'm going to set this up, drill my hole, and hopefully we'll test fit it with the actual charger and see how that works out. So let's give it a whirl and see what happens. You can see the cord fits right through there. Let me see if it's focused or not. of course fits right inside of there. And so I'm just gonna take Bob's advice, Bob Claggett from I Like to Make Stuff, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of super glue around here for when this cord goes through that hole. So it fits great. This will be ready to be mounted on top of the board. That'll be the whole base of the whole thing. All right, so here we are with the bandsaw. I do have the diameter here, and I've actually changed it for the third time now. But as David Picciuto would tell you, make mistakes, do it live. So that's real life. Not everyone gets it right the first time. So actually what I used this time, because I don't have a compass to draw a circle that's the right size, I found this funnel that was just a little over 3.5 inches, which is perfect, getting a little bit of space on every side. So I've got this funnel, and I used it to trace the shape that I need. So right now I'm gonna put this on the bandsaw, cut out the rough circle, and I'm actually use a router with a flush trim bit to get the actual size and the right circle that I want. So let's go ahead and do that. Sander. So I originally thought I was going to try to do this with a flush trim bit, but that's just not going to happen because what I've got just doesn't work like that. But I don't have a lathe, but that's okay too. I'm going to use what I've got. So woodworking, a lot of it is like anything, is about improvising with what you got. So I've got a disc sander and a belt sander here, so I'm going to use that. I have my lines. I'm going to just try to sand down as close to that line as I can, and then I'll just hand sand the rest. So I'm just doing my best to make this as round as possible. So we'll see what we can make happen. Sander, I would say that's a pretty good circle for just using the sander. Again, I just followed the line that I made there. So what we're going to do next is cut our slot for the actual iPhone. That's going to be also 5/8 of an inch thick because we're going to allow for the case to stay on the phone while it sits in here. So we're going to cut another 5/8 inch thick groove in here, and then we'll have that plus our iPad. And then last we'll be cutting a notch in here for the Apple Watch chargers. I have 3 things on here: the Apple Watch, the iPhone, the iPad. All 3 things will be able to dock into one place in one station. So let's keep going. Docking station for the iPhone. We've got our groove cut, and I still have my piece of wood mounted here that you saw just earlier. Well, I used that plus some double-sided tape to mount this on here. That way I can get the groove cut in here. So now what I've done is I've got the center marked. I've got my 5/16 space marked for the charger. We're going to drill this hole all the way through to make sure we have our spot for the charger. So let's do that right now. Alright, so I've got the piece for the iPhone cut right here, and the only thing that's missing right now is a place for the watch. I am going to do that later, but I'm going to go get a 1 1/8 inch Forstner bit. That's really what size. When I looked at the charger for the Apple Watch, it's about 1 1/16. So the really bit that's available that'll fit for that is 1 1/8. So I'm going to have to get one of those later. I don't have one right now, so I'll add that. But as far as this goes, that is set. Other than that, I've got the iPad, the docking station right here ready to go. So I've got this kind of spaced out on another chunk of this walnut. So I'm going to cut it off about here. I've got a line mark, so I'm going to run it across here, cut that to size, and I got to square up this side right over here. So other than that, we'll be kind of rocking and rolling with this. So let's get that cut, and we're nearing the end of this project. Now I'm going to square up these edges here as well. They're still kind of rough cuts, so I'm going to get those where they are. There's no rough lumber on the side there. But I might make it a little more compact, I'm not sure. So just so it's not as big on the counter. But for now, I think that spacing's okay. Maybe I'll make it shorter, we'll see. But that's where we are for now, so it's looking pretty good. Alright, so here we are back over the drill press, and I've got the actual docking station for the iPhone and the Apple Watch. Now, this is the actual charger for the Apple Watch, and I've already marked out where we're going to have that placed, and that's going to be right here. Now, to help me drill that spot on here, I've actually used some double-sided tape, and I've mounted this onto a block so I can set this straight down on here. Now, I'll have to drop the whole thing down. This will hopefully allow me to hold this straight and drill straight down into here with the Forstner bit. And you can see I've already got my bit marked with some tape set to the depth of this charger here. So we're going to try to get all that set up, drill the spot out, and make this fit for the charger, and that'll be everything for the Apple Watch there. I think that'll be good. So at this point, I've got the placement here for the Apple Watch charger, and I've got a little notch cut out right there for where that'll come through. And what I've done, and you probably can't see it, I set this in place where I wanted it. I drew a little notch right there where that is, and then I'm going to actually use a chisel and cut out, or maybe a router, I'm not sure yet, and cut out a little groove here that'll go all the way to the hole where I've got right here for the cord to go through. So once I do that, then I'll allow the cord some space to dip down inside of there, make it to that groove, and run off the back. And I'm not sure if I showed you all this yet, but on the back I did cut out grooves so the cords go through here from both the Apple Watch and iPhone charger and the iPad charger as well. So those will work together. So we're going to get that set up now and make sure we have all those spots set. Alright, so here's our final product. It's got a place for the iPad, for the iPhone, and for the Apple Watch, and everything turned out really well. Something you want to make sure to consider when you're making this is whether or not you want this to be able to fit for the case to fit on your iPad or the case to fit on your phone. When you're cutting grooves out in the wood, that's just something that you want to be able to think about. So if I were to say one thing that was the hardest project for me, a part of this project was mounting the chargers down inside. That was something that was difficult, just to make sure that they're straight, to make sure that the iPad is standing straight up and not tilted one way or the other. So just something to think about when you make this project. So hopefully this inspires you for the next thing that you want to do, and will give you something creative to do. So if you like this video and all the other videos that I'm doing, make sure to hit that like button down below, hit the subscribe button as well, and hopefully you are inspired for your next project. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.